Oh, you are graduating high school in this episode of Tony's Topics. We're going to be breaking down, should you go to trade school or should you go to college? What's the pro, what's the con? Okay, so I'm going to break down for you in this episode right now. Here we go. ROI comparison, AI proof careers, which one on which side, speed to salary, and entrepreneurship. In this episode, let's go. And of course, the stigma shift. Okay, so are you graduating? Do you know someone's graduating? Let's talk about it. Let's break it down right now, right here. Let's get at it. Tony's Topics, like, subscribe. All right, so you, me, we've all been there, right? Graduating high school. Maybe you know what you want to do, maybe you don't. But here's the thing. Right now in America, we got a problem. We have way too many people getting college useless degrees. Now, some degrees are great. Sometimes you have to go to college for certain things. You want to be a chemical engineer. You need college. Right? Right, Joey? Hey. Exactly. You need college. Thank you. But if you want to be, well, if you go to college and you're like, I'm just going to major in psychology. I mean, what are the odds, right? So everything's about odds. What are the odds of getting a job, a good job, versus trade school? Hey, I go to trade school and I become a electrician, a welder, a plumber. What are the odds of getting a job? Now, not everybody wants to be a plumber or an electrician or a welder or a mechanic or a chef or an HVAC tech, but not everybody wants to go to college either. And we have a problem here because parents, high schools, they're pushing college and college only. It's a big fail if you have 100% of high school seniors going to college. Nobody wants to go. Nobody wants to go into trade school. Nobody wants to go into the military. That's a little odd. That would be like everybody's going into trade school. That'd be a little odd too. So there should be a general balance. It doesn't have to be thirds. So here's what we're going to do. Okay. So first, let's talk about the return on investment. I mean, a bachelor's degree today, on average, is about $150,000. That's probably on the low end. I mean, some of these colleges, you have $400,000 in debt. Now, let's just take the low end, really like a low end, $150,000. You're probably going to be most in debt or all in debt. Maybe you'll qualify for some Pell Grants or some scholarships. But again, this is a general average, right? So you get some, maybe you're going to be $100,000 in debt, but that's for a cheap college. We're talking state school, but you know what I mean? Okay, what's your degree in? Philosophy, that's great. You majored in philosophy. You could have done that for free. You're going to be working someplace like a part-time job. You're not going to get, not a philosophy degree. I have a business degree. Okay. Again, what are the odds? The odds. And look, if you want to get a business degree, God bless you. Go get it. You know what I'm saying? But if mommy, daddy are pushing you, so the ROI on comparison here for about 150,000 to 100,000 in debt, the average person pays off their college loan in their fees. Okay. When you go to trade school, you either have no debt or it's minuscule because you're going to get to work quicker. Okay. So let's talk about AI proofing. Listen, if you want to be an accountant, don't. Will there always be a need for accountants? Yes. But the question is, how many accountants? So maybe this country right now has, I don't know, 500,000 accountants, right? But in the next 5 years, there's not going to be a need for 500,000 accountants. There's going to only be a need for 10,000 accountants. You know what I'm saying? So basically, like in your state or in your county, there might be whatever, right? Let's just say there's 100 accountants. There'll still be a need for them, but they'll only need 2 of them because AI is going to do the rest. So, what are the odds of you getting a job as an accountant? A lawyer, depending on what type of law you want to practice, lawyers are already losing their jobs left and right to AI, and every day it gets worse. Depending on what type of law you want to practice. This is not 1970 anymore. It's like a law degree. Depends on the type of law. AI is taking that job. AI is not taking a car mechanic's job. AI is not taking a plumber's job. AI is not taking an electrician's job. Now, AI does help. Robotics do help in those areas, but you're not losing your job. You know what I mean? So you really got to pay attention to what are you going to major in? You're going to college for a degree, not an education. Education is what life does to you. Education is what you go to the library for. Education is what you go on the internet for. So you gotta think about this. Speed to salary. You know what? A tradeswoman is going to be out in the market working probably 5 years sooner than a college grad. That's an additional head start of about $150,000 head start. And if you have half a brain, you're going to invest some, spend some, save some. You're already getting that jump on people. You know what I mean? And you're in demand. I don't know a plumber that's begging for work. I don't know a plumber on their knees begging for loan forgiveness. You know, a welder, an electrician, a chef, a mechanic, HVAC tech. I mean, so speed to salary matters. So, you can start earning a professional paycheck in months versus 4 to 6 years. And again, if you're smart, you get ahead of it. Entrepreneurship, right? Why starting a trade business is so crucial and important. You're going to start your own business much, much quicker than if you go to college. I'm not saying don't go to college, but you really, really got to think of things here. And I'm not saying go to trade school. Maybe, you know what? You're better off becoming a chemical engineer or a physicist, or, you want to be a teacher, a grade school teacher. Then you have to go to college. You know what I'm saying? But don't poo-poo and don't put the stigma on trade, because they're crushing it now. And the future is trade. And I know mommy and daddy are not going to, your mommy and daddy, they want to look good. It's about your mom and dad looking good, because they don't really care so much about what you choose. They care that they look good, because you can't embarrass mom and dad. No, I want my child to go to Harvard. Yeah. How much debt you want to give your kid? I think I'll take my kid driving a brand new Benz, because they became a plumber and they're doing fine, full pension, full benefits, and you know what? Versus your kid went to a nice college. They're on their knees somewhere trying to make ends meet, but they went to that nice university. It depends on what you're majoring in. You know what I'm saying? So I would say this too. I mean, you tell me what you guys think. Join the discussion. What's your take on this? So is college experience worth the price tag, or would you rather start your own career debt-free in the trades if you want to do a trade? Let me know in the comment section below. So subscribe. Now, hit that bell and get notified too, by the way. But yeah, it's important. And I have a lawyer friend of mine. She got her, her law degree, and she's a lawyer now. And she said, I regret it. She's not even 8 months into being a lawyer. I'm like, well, what did you want to do? She's like, I want to be a chef. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be a lawyer, but, So tell me in the comment section below, what do you guys think? Trade school, college? And we're going to be doing a show on the military coming up too, by the way. So like, subscribe to 20 Topics. Thanks, everybody. Subscribe.